Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another video. And today, I am once again doing another quick reviews video. This is something I do once in a while on my channel, where I just quickly review some of the new movies I have seen that I haven't reviewed yet, and I actually don't have much to say. So yeah, basically, if you don't know what this series is, it's basically a series where I gather a bunch of movies that I've seen and I have nothing much to say about, and then I put them all in one video and talk about each of them. Since Halloween is around the corner, I decided to focus on horror movies. Yep. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing all the horror movies from September to October. Yeah, within the last 2 months. I actually didn't get a chance to review a single horror movie within September and October. Well, with the exception of Five Nights at Freddy's, because that's a movie that gets a lot of recognition. So of course I had to review that one. But these horror movies, I think they also deserve a chance for me to share my thoughts on them. So yeah, with this one, I am going to be giving I'm going to be reviewing them in release date order from the beginning of September to October, but I am going to be saving my favorite review of these for last, because saving the best for last is good. So yeah, without further ado, if you want to know which movies I am reviewing and my thoughts on them, then just keep watching. So the first movie that I'm going to be reviewing is The Nun II. I think the Conjuring movies, particularly the first two, are the scariest horror movies I've ever seen. I don't remember getting scared of any other movies more than those, and it's even scarier than the Exorcist. There, I said it. Yeah, the Conjuring 2 would be my favorite. Would be my favorite in the Conjuring universe, and Conjuring and the first film being a close second. Those two and Annabelle Creation, which is one of the biggest surprises in 2017, are probably the only Conjuring movies I like. But then we got like so many spin-offs, spin-offs that are barely good. When the Annabelle 2014, Annabelle Comes Home, which I think is my least favorite Conjuring movie. The Nun, Annabelle, another Annabelle movie, which I forgot the title. Oh yeah, Annabelle Comes Home. My bad, yeah. And The Curse of La Llorona, which some people say it's not canon to The Conjuring, so well, I'll just consider that. But boy, yeah, this movie, yeah, The Nun II, I think it went up to the point where this Conjuring franchise, it's just milking it at this point, and The Nun II is a perfect example of this, because my god, this movie is awful. Oh yeah, one thing you should know as well is that this is directed by the same guy who ruined the main Conjuring trilogy with the third film. With how I wouldn't say I hate the Conjuring 3, yeah, it was such a disappointment, especially in comparison to the first two, which are probably what brought this universe to its highest. That Conjuring 3, yeah, it's just boring. Apparently they got the same guy to do another film in the Conjuring universe, and boy, The Nun II is it is one of the most unnecessary sequels of the year. This is just the same old crap we've seen a billion times in this universe, and yeah, I think this franchise just needs to die already. They're not doing anything with it. They're just it's just so pointless. I will say though that this is slightly better than the first Nun, mainly because there was actually one redeeming quality this film had, and that is Stormy. At first, I thought Stormy as a nun was stupid. Was such a stupid idea, and from the images I saw, she looks so goofy. Like, just look at that Stormy with that nun outfit on. But to my surprise, I actually liked her performance, and she actually carried the movie. Yes, thank God she proved me wrong, and I actually got used. I'm actually now a lot more used to seeing Stormy as the nun. Yeah, maybe it's just because I really like Stormy. Most of her roles, most of Stormy's roles are very good, and Yeah, the only Storm Reed role I don't like is A Wrinkle in Time, which I actually want to rip the piece of garbage Disney movie apart in the future. But I don't think I have plans to do it. I don't know if I have plans to do it this month. Yeah, but where is I? Yeah, I honestly thought Storm Reid gave a better performance in this movie than the Suicide Squad, which yeah, Stormy was in the Suicide Squad if you don't remember, and she was the weakest. She was the weakest part of the movie, even though she was pretty decent. But everything else in this movie, yeah, this was just a waste of time. On a writing standpoint, I think this movie is worse than the first film. Like this movie has even worse writing than the first film due to how lazy, cliche, repetitive, and boring it is. Yeah, the story does absolutely nothing. Not to mention, the jump scares really annoyed more than scared me. It scared the crap out of me. It annoyed me. So yeah, the Nun II is just a waste of time. Yeah, it's just a waste of time. I take this any day over. It's not the worst horror movie of the year though. I think it's better than out of all the Exorcist movies this year. This is probably the best of the Exorcist movies that came out this year. But let's be real, all the Exorcist movies this year sucked. It made me realize how much I'm just tired of these Exorcist movies. And it's better than the Pope's Exorcist and a certain Exorcist movie that I'm gonna talk about later on in the video. But I'm doing this in. But as you all know, I'm doing this in an order. So yeah, in releasing order. So The Exorcist Believer, I will talk about that movie soon. So yeah, as for my rating of Nun II, it's a 1 star out of 5. Yeah, thank God it's not a half star. Just like what I was expecting. So yeah, the second review that I'm going to be the second horror movie that I'm going to be reviewing is A Haunting in Venice. Yeah, this movie is A Haunting in Venice. So yeah, when it comes to this trilogy, I will say that the first movie was kind of a letdown to me. I actually saw all 3 films and I have thoughts on them. Yeah, the first Murder on the Orient Express was a disappointment. Sure, it does have such a stellar stacked Oscar-worthy cast, and I absolutely loved it. And there's like so much potential there, but the ideas that the movie showed was just not very good. I mean, like how the fact that the killer himself was already killed off, which made the third act, the climax, extremely anticlimactic. When I was so excited to see who the killer of the film was, but turned out the killer was already killed by the victim, so it just doesn't make sense anymore. It just comes up just lazy. It just comes up just anticlimactic. But Death in the Nile was actually pretty solid. It was a very decent movie, and kind of underrated, honestly. Yeah, I mean Gal Gadot and Lady the Right are really Gal Gadot, Lady the Right, and Emma Mackey are really like leveled up the movie. They're one of the reasons as to what made that movie just very enjoyable. And it's such an enjoyable fun movie. Even though yes, it is a slow movie, the mystery was only like in the second half of the movie, but I still enjoyed the vast majority of it. I wasn't too bored. I wasn't too bored in the parts without the mystery. But A Haunting in Venice. But A Haunting in Venice is straight up the best in the horror trilogy. I mean, everyone says that this is the best in the trilogy, and I absolutely agree. I love the idea of taking a horror approach to the franchise, in order to elevate this suspense and tension. And as you all know, the first 2 movies are not horror, but this one is. So yeah. By the way, I actually saw this movie in theaters. So I actually saw this one in theaters and for my mom's birthday, because my mom is a huge fan of the first 2 films, and she's a huge fan of both murder mystery and horror. Yeah, horror is my mom's favorite genre, and and so I'm actually happy to see this one being a horror movie. I think it helps a lot. Boy, this movie really creeped me out for the most part, especially with the ghost and the scene with Michelle Yeoh getting cursed. Yeah, I really love the cast as well. We know like you got Michelle Yeoh, Tina Fey, and um, Tina Fey and Kenneth Branagh giving his best performance as Hercule Poirot, and this is probably the most faithful to the character we've had in this trilogy. But Kelly Riley as the killer, as the reveal killer, was the standout, and she's hands down the best. Yeah. She's no question the best villain in the trilogy, in the best villain in the trilogy, and the best killer. And, uh, and for a movie that isn't really entirely based on the book but only inspired, it's based on Halloween Party. This movie like surprisingly feels like it's based. Surprisingly feels like you can tell that it's faithful. It's trying to be faithful to the book, despite that it changed a few things and it's only rather inspired. Yeah, it's interesting. The movie isn't perfect since there are some scenes that bored me, especially with the first act. That was like it was boring, and there were some distractingly weak performances. Cough, cough, Jamie Dornan. But besides a few flaws like that, oh yeah, also there are some characters that are forgettable. Like I already forgot about them. So yeah. But yeah, even with those minor flaws, I still really enjoy this movie. Don't know if I'll rewatch it. I'll probably give it a rewatch soon. But yeah, all in all, easily the best in the trilogy. I give a Haunting in Venice 4 stars out of 5. Okay, now let's get into my third review, which is No One Will Save You. Yep, this movie. So yeah, now I know this is a movie that was barely marketed, and this is actually a streaming service movie that came on the Hulu. Yes, this is technically a 20th Century Studios movie, which makes this a Disney movie. So yeah, glad to include Disney in this review. Oh, yeah, and Haunting in Venice is a Disney movie too. So yeah, now I went into this movie not knowing much about it, aside from two things. One, it's an alien invasion movie, and two, it stars Caitlin Dever, who I'm actually a huge fan of. Yeah, Caitlin Dever is honestly a very underrated actress. I won't go as far as ranking her among the best actresses of all time, but she is such a great actress, man. A great actress, you know, with films like Booksmart and even bad movies like Dear Evan Hansen. She manages to be the redeeming quality, as she was the best part of Dear Hansen. And there are actually some Caitlin Denver projects I want to check out, like Beautiful Boy, that Timothy Chalamet movie in 2018, where Caitlin Denver plays as Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet is a girlfriend, and also the TV show Unbelievable, which I hear many say it's her best performance. So we'll see about that. Yeah, Unbelievable is a Netflix series, if you don't know, by the way. And I gotta say, this movie was such a sleeper hit and a total banger. This is easily in my top 3 favorite horror movies of the year. I love this unique take on the alien invasion trope we've seen many times. And this movie is also kind of like last year's Nope in some ways. And yeah, this movie is basically the Nope of 2023. And I would say that Nope was I prefer Nope slightly better, but this is on par with Nope actually. Actually, no, scratch it. I think this and Nope are tied to me. What makes this even more unique is that this is a silent movie with little to no dialogue. There are like a lot of mumblings, a lot of like people making sound and speaking gibberish, but it is mostly silent throughout. Plus the fact that it treats the audience with respect by letting them understand what is going on without any exposition. Yeah, we need more silent movies. We don't get enough silent movies, but rather we get more movies with the exposition. And this movie is actually scary. Yeah, it scared me. The vast majority of the movie has this eerie music that brings so much suspense to it. And really, gotten my nerves. There is a scene, specifically the bus scene. I think you would know that if you saw the movie. The scene with the bus might be the scariest. Might be the scariest scene of the year. My God, yeah. The bus scene. My God, this is a PG-13 movie, and the fact that it manages to be scarier than a lot of the R-rated horror movies. That just says something. Yeah. And yes, Caitlin Denver is amazing. This one too. She definitely carried the movie, and this is one of her better performances. Sure, yeah, it was not a family ending. The ending did make no sense, so it's not a perfect movie. But everything else in this movie just works to me. So yeah, please go check out that No One Will Save You. If you haven't seen it yet, this is such a sleeper hit, a bang, and y'all should watch it. So yeah, the next movie that I'm going to be talking about is Saw X. Now let me just start by saying that I am not a Saw fan at all. I'm not a Saw hater, but it's just that I just don't really care for it that much. I mean, the first Saw movie is not that good in my opinion. It's all right, but not that good. And I actually haven't seen all the I actually haven't seen all the Saw movies yet. All the Saw movies yet. The only Saw movies I have seen are Saw 2, Jigsaw, and Spiral. The rest I have yet to see. And from what I've seen, Spiral would be my least favorite Saw movie, but that's not saying much since I haven't seen any of the truly bad Saw movies, which is the ones in between Saw 2 and Jigsaw. Jigsaw is probably the most underrated Saw movie and a guilty pleasure, though I think calling it better than the first Saw movie, I think that was a little too. I used to call that movie better than the first movie. I don't think that's the case. It's alright, it's okay. But I will say that I'll admit that I wasn't excited for this movie, but I wasn't dreading it either because the trailer actually wasn't bad. It's just that I started to feel a little fatigue with these Saw movies because of how this is not a 10 film. And yeah, everyone said that this is the best Saw movie. And you guys are actually right. This is the best Saw movie, and it's a legit great movie. What worked for me about the movie is how it felt like this actually felt like a movie because the other Saw movies are focused more on torture porn than an actual movie. This movie doesn't focus on the torture porn, but rather on the story and characters. It's telling John Kramer's story and explaining why he kills people. Although some of the stuff he said, about how John Kramer was medically treated, how John Kramer was how do I say this? How John Kramer how John Kramer was scammed. Okay, that's the word I was looking for. Scammed by the doctors, and the fact that he got revenge on them. That's honestly kind of a bad excuse for him to actually kill other people that you saw in the other Saw movies. But this one, yeah, I mean, you really feel bad for John Kramer. You actually feel sympathy for him in the movie where he's in a franchise where he's actually a maniac, an irredeemable maniac. And yeah, Amanda Young was my favorite character in the first Saw movie, and they did a great job with her character here, maintaining everything I loved about her character. I love how the movie took a 180 degree with its characters by making John and Amanda the protagonists and the victims the villains. Yeah, all the people who John Kramer trapped and killed are actually the antagonists of the movie. Well, except for Gabriella. Gabriella was a part of was a victim, but she wasn't really a villain. And you can clearly tell when John decided to save Gabriella's life. And Gabriella is definitely one of my favorite characters in the movie. But my personal favorite character in the movie has to be Cecilia Pedersen. Yeah, she might be my favorite character in the Saw franchise in general. While Cecilia is just a regular human being and a doctor, she feels even more cold-hearted and evil. Especially when she killed Gabriella, who is innocent. Yeah, even though John Kramer is trying to save her life, yeah, Cecilia just killed her, and you really feel hatred towards Gabriella for what she did to John Kramer, and that's how you make a good villain. She's in, yeah, Cecilia would be in my top 10 favorite villains of 2023. Despite this being the best Saw movie, I won't go as far as saying I love this movie, because it is still flawed. It is flawed. I was honestly not a fan of the traps. Yes, I get that this is a story and character kind of movie, and it's trying to take away everything that people dislike about the previous Saw movie. But at least make this, but at least make this, but at least make the traps more memorable. I thought the traps were completely forgettable. The only traps I particularly remember are the iron mobile and the cutting the scene when one of the characters cuts her legs in half. Yeah, those were the only traps I remember. But and also I didn't like what they did to Billy the puppet. Like, why is he just there just for the sake of being there? He's like just he was like he kind of felt like a robot for some reason. I don't know why. And the ending was kind of bad. It left questions rather than answers. Like, did Cecilia die? Did her partner die? What happened to them? Yeah, the ending felt like it just came out of nowhere. So yeah, overall, yeah, this may be a flawed movie, but Saw X is the best Saw movie. So and this is also the most surprising movie of 2023. So yeah, I'm gonna give Saw X a 4 stars out of 5. It could go up to 4.5, but I think 4 is good now. To me, as of now. Okay, so the next movie that I'm going to be reviewing is, oh God, no, The Exorcist, the Believer. Yeah, I already spoiled in my Nun II review or rants that I am going to be talking about The Exorcist Believer, and here we are, this movie right here. Yeah, this was my least anticipated horror movie of the year, and it was just as bad as I knew and everyone else said it would be. This is the most hated horror movie of the year, and yeah, this and both this and Five Nights. Actually, technically, this is the most hated horror movie of the year. Yeah, literally, I don't know a single person who liked this movie. Well, except Film Speak, aka Griffin Schiller. I can understand, which is no surprise because he liked all of David Gordon Green's movie. I mean, yeah, I don't know what's there to say, but I'll still talk about this movie. I like the original Exorcist, but I find this one to be. I like the original Exorcist, but I find that movie to be a tad bit overrated. I mean, it's a very good movie, don't get me wrong, but it's just not one of the greatest horror movies of all time, like what others make it out to be, and it's not even a 5 out of 5 movie. But we can all agree that the original is far better than this excuse of a sequel. After seeing this movie, I am done with Exorcist movies. I think Exorcist movies are just, they're not shiny anymore. They're just nothing but a bunch of generic fluff that just needs to do something unique, but it doesn't. Yeah, I think that this is the worst type of horror. Yeah, who agrees with me that slasher horror is way better than exorcism horror? And yeah, one of the reasons as to what killed this, one of the things as to what killed this movie is David freaking Gordon Green. All he does is just ruin legacy sequels. That's basically it. I mean, yeah, sure. David Gordon Green. He actually made one good legacy horror movie sequel with Halloween 2018, and it's probably his best film. Yes, even over Pineapple Express. And Halloween Kills was a disappointment. Not a fan. But Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is my least favorite horror movie of all time. That movie showed that David Gordon Green's a true color as just a horrible horror director. Just a horrible director who doesn't know how to make horror movies. Why, David Gordon Green, why don't you make your own original horror movie instead of just touching on legacy sequels and ruining them? The only compliment I can give this movie is that it's actually better than Halloween Ends. Yeah, it's actually not worse than Halloween Ends. Yeah, Halloween Ends is the worst horror movie to me, and it always will be. The reason why I prefer this slightly more than Halloween Ends is because at least it didn't have another Corey, and it didn't try to shift away from being a horror movie to another genre, like how Halloween Ends it eventually became a rom com. It felt more of a rom com than a horror movie. But yeah, this movie just ugh. But yeah, this movie did stick to being horror, but it is incredibly boring and generic. It actually misunderstands what made the original film so good. Yeah, but the original film wasn't just another Exorcist movie, but this one it just turned into just another Exorcist movie, another cliche generic Exorcist movies. This is certainly in my top 10 worst horror movies of all time. And this is my second worst horror movie of the year, second only to Meg to the Trash. So yeah, screw this movie big time. So yeah, Exorcist Believer, there's nothing good about this movie, so half star out of 5 it is. Now, this is actually the latest movie that came out that came out of the horror movies I reviewed. This is actually the latest one. But that's mainly because I decided to save the best for last, the best movie on this list. Now, this movie I'm about to review came out a week before The Exorcist Believer, but considering that it is my favorite of these films, I might as well just save it for last. And talk about it right now, and that movie is totally killer. Wow, what a movie, man! What an amazing movie. The title pretty much just sums up my thoughts on this movie. It's totally killer. This is a film I never knew I needed, and it is so good. It's basically Back to the Future meets Scream, and it works so well because of how self-aware the film is, and it just wants to have fun. The movie is straight up fun, and I loved almost every minute of it. I mean, almost. The characters are a lot of fun to be around. I absolutely love them, especially Kiernan Shipka as Jamie, the lead. Kiernan Shipka. Kiernan Shipka is amazing. This movie made me love her even more as an actress. Now I can see why people want her to play live action Gwen Stacy. Though I'm still sticking with Emma Myers as my pick for live action Gwen Stacy. Yeah, but I mean, Jamie is just such an amazing character, one of the best horror characters of the year, and she's in my top 10 favorite protagonists of all time. And all the other characters are great as well. And this is such a unique slasher movie. What could have been just another slasher movie just had this very unique time traveling aspect that made it just a lot more fun, and we even get to see how Jamie's family was like when they were all young, and it was really exciting to see them around, and also just seeing Jamie teach these characters about the future, about what her present is like, what her timeline is like. Yeah, it's just so much fun, and I love how there's like a lot of meta stuff to it. This movie goes very meta, not as meta as Scream and Scream 6, but it is very meta. And speaking of Scream, yeah, I love how Jamie mentions Scream in this movie, and then tells her one of the characters in the past that Scream is a movie in the future. And the kills are so much fun. Yeah, the killer is basically a mix of Michael Myers with Ghostface, like as if there's like someone there's like always a twist villain behind the Michael Myers mask and all that stuff. Yeah. I will say though that the killer reveal wasn't very good. I was not a fan of the killer reveal. Felt like it just came out of nowhere, and also the first 10 minutes was very weak, especially when it had this overprotective parent cliche that I think wasn't well handled. But all in all, yeah, this movie is great, yeah, and I highly recommend you check out this movie. I get Totally Killer a 4.5 out of 5, very close to getting 5 stars. So yeah, and that wraps up my horror movie review, quick movie review series. So yeah, what is your favorite of these movies, and which ones have you seen and which ones have yet to see? So yeah, I highly recommend you check out No One Will Save You and Totally Killer. Yeah. Saw X, I know most people would see it, and also Honey in Venice too. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for I forgot what my next video is, but yeah, stay tuned for more videos to come. Oh yeah, but next trend that I am planning to doing is my rant on Hotel Transylvania Transformania. But there might be another video before that, so yeah, you'll see what it is. So anyways, bye guys.